another brand new week of the medical equipment maintenance short learning course. Last week you did unit 4 on corrective maintenance, during which time you were placed in different groups, about 5 groups, where you were asked to do an activity that is a group work on the activity was on first line, second line, third line maintenance, etc. And you were supposed to work together as a team, because sometimes in this field you need to collaborate with other colleagues. And you were also supposed to decide how you meet online, on Zoom, on MS Teams, on WhatsApp. But somehow you needed to collaborate and do that assignment together, and the marks will be the same for all members of the group. I hope you have done that assignment, because time is ticking, and hopefully by now you would have started submitting. And then you did Unit 5 on inventory and quality management. There were no quizzes, activities, or practical for that assignment. And then for Unit 6 on communication, that was quite an interesting one. And the unit on communication, Unit 6, it had 3 activities. One of them was where you were supposed to write your iMessage, and then there were 2 quizzes on that unit. And then Unit 7 is on electrocardiography, or ECG. So it has a theory component as well as the practical components, which you can access under the practical folder. So that was the content for last week. So the question is, what were your struggles? What were your difficulties? What were your thrills and your joys? How was last week for you? I need some feedback before we look at what we have for this week. Any feedback regarding last week? Did you have any struggles? Did you have any issues, difficulties, questions from last week's contents before we look at what we have for this week? Okay, I don't see any hand, so I can safely assume that all went well last week. There were various questions during the week which were posted individually, and I did my best to attend to all or most of those questions. But as you know, if there are any issues or questions at any time during the week, you know how to reach me, and I'll do my best to respond. So looking at the content for this week, let's have a look at the program and see what we have lined up for this week. This week promises to be another very interesting week. I'll just share my screen on the screen. So let's go up there, go to Monday. Okay, so today is Monday, March 10. And you have a content on blood pressure monitoring, where you will learn about different types of blood pressure monitoring instruments, the principle behind blood pressure monitoring. You will learn about both the invasive and non-invasive blood pressure monitoring and the electronic systems involved, transducers used, and also the inspection and preventive maintenance. For this particular unit, there's no practical for today. The practical for blood pressure measurement is going to be linked to the practical on patient monitoring, because a patient monitor has got different modules, include the module for blood pressure monitoring. So we'll do all that together under blood pressure monitoring. For Tuesday, the topic is pulse oximetry, where you will be introduced to the pulse oximeter and its principle of operation, and you look at typical devices for pulse oximetry, common user faults, type of problems, and how to do preventive maintenance, and also safety and performance inspection. The practical for this unit is also linked with that of patient monitoring, because pulse oximeter is usually a unit or a module that is linked to patient monitors. So you will do that under patient monitoring. And then Wednesday and Thursday is where you now do patient monitoring, unit 10. And that unit is quite full. But before we go to unit 10, I think let's go back to unit 8. Unit 8 here, there is something I supposed to mention, which is not listed here in this program, but I think I've updated the program now because that was an omission. There is an activity for Unit 8, and that activity is activity 8.1. So if you go to the content area, when you walk through the content for Unit 8, let's go there quickly on blood pressure monitoring. You will see that it's got, actually, if you go from here, you will see that it's got the theory section, Unit 8. And then there is the video here that you'll watch. And then there is an additional note on mercury, its hazards, and its handling that you download and read. Then there is activity 8.1, posting on Padlet. So let's look at that activity, activity 8.1. Now, what you're required to do with this activity is like brainstorming. Once you've read that note or the PowerPoint on mercury, its handling, and all of that, because sometimes you have medical devices that still use mercury. In some provinces, in some rural areas, they still have mercurial sphygmomanometers for blood pressure measurement. They still use that. And you will still find some old suction machines that have mercury switch. You might find yourself, for instance, working in a hospital or an environment where they still have equipment that contain mercury. Now, as a clinical engineering technician, you'll be required to do maintenance on such devices. Now, how do you handle mercury? What are the precautions? What are the hazards involved? How do you protect yourself? And that is what that additional note is about. What is the requirement of ECRI, Emergency Care Research Institute, concerning safe handling, use, and disposal of equipment that contain mercury? So going through that note will give you an idea how to work with equipment that contain or use mercury. Even some thermometers use mercury, they contain mercury as well. So thermometers, sphygmomanometers, some switches used in theater for suction machines, they do contain mercury. So how do you navigate your way through maintaining such devices? And that is what that activity is about. Now, once you've gone through that note, you've understood the handling of mercury, the hazards, and so on, you will come to activity 8.1. So it's like an electronic board where you post sticker notes on what you've learned once you've gone through that note. So you come here and click the link either here or you click below here, and it takes you to Padlet where you are like posting stickers on the wall to answer the question. So the activity says write your name and content in any of the squares. So if you want to write, you double click and it allows you to type in any of these boxes. There are 4 pages here where you can type your answers. You'll find the answer in activity 8.1. You click on the link, it brings you here, you start posting. There are 4 pages. As you can see, there's not enough space on page 1 for all of you. There's page 2 that has more than enough space. And there are some examples of what kind of thing you are required to post in response to the question in activity 8.1. There is also page 3 with more space to post, and there is page 4. Now, when you start posting, you don't have to save. As you're typing, it will save automatically. So once you finish typing, you just exit or you close. No need to save. It will save automatically. So all you need to do, you come here, you double click, and then you type your name, and then you double click again, you type your content or whatever it is you want to type. There's an example here from Neveshini Swanepoel. Okay, so you need to put your name, because that's how we know that you've done this assignment. You put your name at the top and then you type the content below that. You can either do it on page 1, page 2, page 3, or page 4, right? And once you're done, no need to save. It saves automatically. You just close and exit. And that is activity 8.1. Okay, so let's go back to my tutor. For unit 10, which you will do on Wednesday and Thursday. So unit 10 is for 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday. And that is the unit on patient monitoring. There is an activity for that unit. Once you've gone through the content, you will go to do the practical, because there's a practical for activity, for unit 10. So do the theory, then you go and do the practical on patient monitoring. You go to the practical folder and you will see the practical on patient monitors. So patient monitors, unit 10, you go down to the practical folder, which is this. And then when it opens, you will see, you scroll down to the next one, you start doing the practicals. Where is it now? Okay, let's go back, because I want you to see. So if we go down, practical content. Okay, so this is it here on patient monitors, unit 10. Okay, so if you click on that, it expands, and then it will allow you to start going through all the practical content for on patient monitoring. Okay, there are quite a number of them. Okay, introduction and overview, and then the next video there, practical video, is on patient monitor demonstration. And then after that, you will find another one on, let's see, okay, connecting and using the patient simulator, which is the testing equipment that you use for testing different parameters in the patient monitor. Okay.
Hi everyone,
And
my name is
additional
Fraser
content as
Lemmer.
well.
I'm from a
So there are 2 lecturers that will guide you through that process. Now, that's for the practical. Once you're done with that, there is an activity that you will do for unit 10. And that activity is what we call feedback on Flipgrid. So Flipgrid is another online platform that allows you to post short video content. So you can either do that activity on Flipgrid, or you can do it on My Tutor. So let's see, learning content, going back to unit 10. Okay, I think I better show it to you from my view over here. Okay, so what you need to do for that activity is like a video reflection. You're reflecting on your journey on this course from the time you started. What have you learned? What were your expectations before you came? What have you learned? What was most striking for you so far? So it's like you are halfway into the course and you're reflecting back on your journey to say, okay, before I came, these were my expectations and that and that and that. But going through up to this point, these are the things I've learned. And these are the ones that are most striking for me. I look forward to the rest of the modules to see what else I can learn. So I'm going to post some links on the WhatsApp group to show you examples of previous students who have done that activity, how they did it and what they said. So that will give you a kind of idea how you're supposed to do that activity. And for that activity, you can do it, like I said, on Flipgrid or on My Tutor. Preferably, in order for you not to struggle, because some people struggle to post on Flipgrid, you can just do it on My Tutor and it will be just as good. So you can actually do the recording live on My Tutor. I think you have more than one attempt for activity 10.1. So if you do the first one, you're not happy, you can always do it again, right? So that will be activity 10.1. Let's quickly see if I go to content from here and I go to learning content. I go to activity 10, patient monitors. So we'll go down to activity 10.1, mid-course video feedback. So it says in this activity, you're required to record 3 to 5 minutes video feedback reflecting on what you have learned in this course so far. As a mid-course feedback activity, you can either record your video directly on My Tutor or make use of short feedback video formats. And there's a link there on ScreenPal or Flipgrid. And there's a guide on what you need to say when you record your video. You can actually practice before you do the actual recording. Okay. And then it will guide you through the process. So that's the activity. And like I said, I'm going to post a few examples so that you see how others have done that activity. I will be posting 1 or 2 or 3 links on the WhatsApp group, and you can watch what others have done so you can follow a similar example. And then, so that's for Wednesday and Thursday. Now, Friday is free. So you're free on Friday and free over the weekend as well. And that gives you the opportunity to catch up on your assignments, quizzes, and activities. So that will be what we have for this week. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Tim.
Yes, Naomi, go ahead.
No, we say thank you. So we'll be catching up on our quizzes and assignments. And then if we have any hiccups, we'll obviously contact you on WhatsApp.
Sure.
Yes. Thank you.
Great. Okay, anybody else with a question or comment? Yes, Maklokonolo, do you have a question?
No, I wouldn't say a question. I'm still trying to breathe here. Hey, I'm still catching up.
Okay, connect some oxygen to help you breathe better.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, if there are no further questions, it's already 20 minutes and I don't wish to keep you longer than now. It's recorded. I will post the recording for those who came in late or couldn't catch up with us today. But have a great week. And remember, I'm always on the other side of the phone. If there are questions or comments or issues, I will be there for you. So thank you very much and good luck for the week. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.